a man I got to answer to if I mess with you. And if there's not a man standing there, well, why not? And there's also some type of, I don't want to say control, but there are some men who like to know, like, okay, I have my wife. There's a control aspect. So they're also like, well, why aren't you married? Like, could you not follow instructions? Were you not, like, did you not forgive too easy? I would say this, there's women who are married to men in jail. And if you feel like she is a better, if you feel like because she's married and has a husband, you can take her advice. Like, I'm not the kind of person that's like, you have to live by what I live by. I'm telling you what I know, right? At the end of the day. And there's married people who I would not take advice from. And we have to stop this illusion that marriage is this sun and roses and everybody's happy. You know, I have a therapist who literally told me that a lot of her clientels are wives who are trying to make it through their marriage because they're not happy. Woo! Not saying this is every wife, okay? But I think that most women want the wedding day, they want the ring, they want the bragging rights, they want the Instagram post. But do they really want the wife job description? Now, the wife job description, I believe in it so much, that's why I won't do it. I was engaged, and that's what, before all this, very early in my career, I was engaged. I was in my 20s for my college sweetheart, and the one thing we decided is we would never get divorced. And I really think people should make that decision before you get married, because it's like, listen, if we do this, it's me and you till we see Jesus. And there wasn't an infidelity. I realized we had different life plans. And most women usually just kind of follow the man. Nothing wrong with that, right? And at that time, it would have made sense. He was an electrical engineer. I'm a radio host making $7 an hour. I'm going to probably be fired in like, you know, I would get, you get fired all the time in radio. I have no job security. So girl, you got this man, tall, dark, handsome, marry him, have babies, and run off to the sunset. And I couldn't make that bet because I had so much inside of me. I had to take a risk on becoming who Kendra could become. And that's 20 years ago. And as I say, I always tell my age because I want people to know my life is a journey. I'm 46 years old. If I would know that you make that deal and you decide to go for your career, and at 46, you still wouldn't be married, you still wouldn't have kids, would you make that same bet? Absolutely.
You would, yeah.
Because I had to choose myself. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be married and just say I'm married. If I'm married, it's because this is what God's purpose is for me. And I'm riding out with you to the sunset. And I know you're gonna mess up, but I'm here. I'm Coretta Scott King in it. Yeah. And if I can't Coretta Scott King it, then I'm not gonna do it. You just should.
Yeah.
I love that.
Is there somebody you're dating right now?
Yes, Paul. I am dating.
Dating? Is it more than one?
I am dating. I don't have sex when I date, though. So let me tell you about dating. This is why I have a dating app, and I encourage every woman to date. I think what happens is women don't know how to date. Like men really kind of have, are you cool? Can I sit with you and have a conversation, watch a game and eat some burgers? All right, let's kick it. Women, their prerequisites for dating, and this is why women are having so many challenges, because they don't know how to date. Girlfriend, if a guy wants to take you out for pizza, go out for pizza. Learn them. Dating is data. You're collecting data because you might think you want something on paper, but when you get it, because I've had a lot of things that I wanted on paper, and then I got it, and I was like, oh, I'm not about this life. Like you said, men like Paul come with a lot. I'm here to tell you, I'm not about that life. Yeah. I'm not about that life. So now I'm dating. Marriage is not important to me. But I'm dating, you know? I think
my thing is too, like, how do I buy a car without test driving it?
That's fair for you. So I'm not saying
because you said you don't have sex while dating.
No, but I'm not having sex without a relationship. I'm not saying marriage.
Relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we want to have intimacy, so it's just me and you. We exclusive, right?
Me too.
How long before you know? How many dates?
How many dates?
Like how many dates can a dude get off before you like, all right, this ain't gonna happen, or it's maybe something?
I think that here's the deal, and I'm gonna get so technical, and y'all gonna get mad.
Should two people agree not to divorce before marriage, or is that unrealistic?
That's some unrealistic shit single women say on podcasts to make themselves sound deeper and depth or intelligent.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't think people should, because this isn't unconditional. Like there's conditions to this relationship. So unless they're going to get rid of conditions, then I don't understand the idea of saying we never going to get a divorce.
I think it makes sense. to have that mindset, because if you go into it with it's an option, then you're already losing. Like if the goal is to win the game, we going in because we trying to win the game. We're not trying to say, okay, well, if we go in, we may be losing, and so we just gonna quit. Or if they up, then we're not gonna try to fight to come back. Like there should be, it's like the guy that's in charge, but the man is going to be in charge. He should be setting the plan about what's going to be happening in the relationship, and she should be cool with being on board with what it is that he's trying to get towards. So to say, well, no, I don't know, it makes no sense to even get into the marriage, because the marriage vows say to death do you part. And so if that person is not willing to ride with you into that time being, considering what goes on in the vow, you know, if there's infidelity or something, I can understand. But all these other things, we should be able to say, listen, we getting into this relationship and we not leaving. Matter of fact, that's what she just said. They said that and they didn't even get married. So it makes more sense to know that I'm riding with somebody that says, I'm not leaving. I'm going to work on this. It's me and you against the world, no matter what, and then move forward. That's how you build unity and community. If not, that's the issue that we currently have.
So humble dad, would you leave your woman for infidelity?
Yes.
So you're just saying the same thing that we saying. Like there are certain things that like no, I'm not saying.
No, yeah, I'm not saying the same thing.
We are.
You're not going into a marriage thinking that somebody's going to be cheating. You're going into the relationship saying we got each other and we're going to be rocking with each other. That's the whole point of getting into a relationship and into a marriage for sure. Otherwise, in it.
We're not going into the marriage thinking that someone's going to cheat. We're going to the marriage knowing that both knowing that in the world we live in, shit happens, and we're aware that it can happen.
Gentlemen, y'all didn't hear nothing that me and True was trying to elaborate. See, the problem is this. I don't care what kind of conversation you're having with each other about not cheating on each other or not leaving a marriage. That's just two naive people talking, trying to predict how they're going to behave in the future when they face hard times. Let me ask y'all this. And y'all be honest when y'all answer this question. If one of you were to, and most of us probably don't have our grandmothers anymore because we're getting up here in age, and most of our grandmothers are probably not here anymore. But if we were to violate our grandmother in any particular way, it doesn't have to be a crazy violation, but something that the family deems inappropriate. Do you guys think the entire family would have a problem with us? Or do you think it will just be an isolated issue between you and your big mama?
I don't understand how that's going to connect with before.
Entire family.
The question is,
roll with me, and then you'll see.
Well, okay, but the question is, should people talk about before they get married that
I heard the question.
Well, humble dad, he was probably going to take it somewhere. We just got to kind of go through his exercise.
I realize that.
Okay, so I'm gonna repeat the question. If our grandmothers are still with us and one of us violate our grandmother, is that conflict between you and your grandmother, or is it a conflict between you and your entire family?
The entire family, more than likely.
Yeah. See, that's not the case in marriage. That's why it don't matter what kind of conversations you two have with each other. It's that isolationism. You two are going at the world alone, ill-equipped, no support system, no gurneys. It's just you two. You don't know what you don't know. You're hoping and wishing upon a prayer, hoping that when conflict arises, you will know how to deal with it. Know what you're going to do. You're going to go to your support systems and you're going to complain about your significant other because you need someone to tell these things to. And when you tell your support system, which is not his support system or not her support system, they're going to side with you. And they're going to develop disdain for your significant other. Or you're going to not tell them anything for fear of them judging your significant other, and you're going to keep it bottled in. Then you're going to go to a stupid therapist, like somebody mentioned, like that dummy mentioned that all these therapists talk about how women are unhappy. Marriage is not about happiness. There's nowhere in the vows do people take and they say for happiness. No, they literally say the words for better or for worse. They don't mean what they're saying. The family is not holding them to what they say. The family is not stewarding them in this process. Like, you do know, if you marry this man or if you marry this woman and you join our families together, we are a family. And the Bible says, which y'all took an oath, let no man set asunder. So nobody can come between this union, not even the people in the union. Because if you violate this union, we're going to get rid of you, because you would be effectively destroying half of our family. And we're not going to let you.
Are you saying that? Are you saying that what the standard should be, or are you saying what it currently is? Because I'm saying, even when you talk about the vows are saying that you're not going to get a divorce. That's what the vows are saying. It is telling you that you're going to be here until death do you part.
So
that is
why
that you know going in. So why sir?
So why do you need to have the conversation if the vows say so? Clearly, you said it before you had got exchanged nuptials, right? You said the words.
That's why I asked that question.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if you have the conversation prior to, because most people are probably going to say some foo-foo stuff like, we're never getting a divorce.
But why would that be foo-foo though?
Because it's just talk. It's like when you tell a girl,
if you say that, then that means that the vows is just talk.
No, sir. I don't care what you say to a person. If there was a structure set in place that if you do this violation, yes, there will be dire consequences to face. You will not make that violation, because again, if we were to violate our big mama, we don't have beef with just our big mama, because we ain't worried about our big mama doing something to us if we got beef with her. But we are worried about the fact that you got 34 cousins, you got 4 uncles, 3 aunts. You don't want all these people at your head.
So you're saying there's not a support system to establish?
Not support. There's no structure for punishment. It's not always about support, because people have support systems. People,
that's what we're saying. We're saying the same thing, because in support there is. Okay.
No,
what I'm saying
there's 2 different things.
If there's, I'm talking about a structure, there is going to be consequences within this structure, right? I'm saying, so I understand that you're saying that if we had what True was saying was that there was a unity and community, then there will be people holding us accountable outside of ourselves, right?
Listen, no. I hear what you're saying, but listen to what I'm trying to say. We have unity, but it's not collective unity. It's his unity and her unity. She has a support system. He has a support system. They don't have a system that governs the relationship. They govern their relationship. So, for example, let's say me and my woman have a conflict, and I go talk to my cousin or one of my homeboys about it. What a system would say is, okay, you need someone to talk to. We heard you out. All right, cool. Now let's find a solution to this. Not, oh man, what you gonna do, dog? No, okay, look. So we heard you out. Clearly, this is something bigger than just a little tit for tat. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up family meeting. Friends, family, whatever, whoever the people are that are obligated to this relationship to see it to the end, right? We're gonna have and we're going to let you guys know, hey, listen, we love y'all. We want to talk. We need to intervene. But understand something. As much as we love y'all, if y'all decide to separate, which y'all have every right to do, we want y'all to separate for a time. Then y'all need to come back together. Now, if y'all choose to separate for a time and go out there and live y'all best lives, understand, you're not just going to be leaving each other. You're also leaving us.
Yeah, I agree.
Hold on real tight. I do want to get Hink involved in this conversation. This is an important conversation, because I know, Hink, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I know you always say that if you guys have any conflict, it needs to stay between you and the wife. And where I hear Will say that we need more of a unity amongst both sides in order to have this like the structure intact.
I think a good term would be like a board.
Okay, well, a board, however you want to look at it. But one of the things that I noticed too is that some of our parents and family members fucked up, so we can't even go to them. But it has to start somewhere. So we may be on to something. Maybe somebody might listen, and maybe we can start it, and then our kids can, come to us, for their relationships. I don't know. I'm just trying to stir the pot a little bit because I know Hink says that. So how do you feel about what's going on, Hink, what's being said, and how do some of the others feel?
So the one thing I do agree with Kendra G was the thing about making divorce as an option. I don't believe in it. I didn't believe it. Even with my ex, I didn't believe it. But I couldn't make her stay with me, especially after the selfish decision I made. But I think we were talking about family holding accountable and all. My aunt and my grandmother held me accountable. They told me I need to get back with that woman. And I tried. I tried to get back with my ex-wife, but she wouldn't agree to the terms that I had for her, so I would not remarry her. So it just didn't work. So I definitely agree with that. That one part that Kendra G. Now the other shit I didn't agree with what she was talking about. But as far as making a divorce an option, yeah, keep it out. Me and my wife, we talked about that. Now, of course, we both know what the conversation we had was about cheating, but that was talked about while we was, we was doing our vet phase. If you cheat, I'm done. She knows that. I know that. So that didn't even have to be a conversation before we got married. So even if we're in marriage and she does it, the rules still apply. And for what you saying, no, I don't believe in allowing an outside source like family to get into our relationship. We're gonna figure it out between the two of us, and if we can't, we'll go to counseling, and we'll figure out with a third party, an individual, independent party. But no, family's not going to get involved into our relationship because whatever's going on between us, it happened between us. Ain't nothing they can really say and tell me. Well, hold on now. I don't interrupt nobody. So I don't allow to bring parents, family members, or cousins, or aunties, or grannies to involve in my relationship. I don't do that. Now, if that's what y'all do, good luck with that. You also know you're inviting everybody into your stew, and when they put your ingredients in that stew, it's gonna fuck some shit up. So now when you go to the next family meeting or the next get together, they gonna have a side eye look at you. Y'all done passed and moved on, but they still feeling some type of way about you. And I don't believe in that shit. I leave.
Your respond, True.
I can see why Hink would say that. This is definitely no shot to him at all because in a lot of ways he's right. I'll say it like this. You have to be wise enough to know what kind of family you're attached to, which is what I'm saying. We're speaking to the fragment of the families that we come from. So if you are someone who's trying to bridge and create a different dynamic, and you know that your family does not have the capacity or the maturity, the tools to aid in the progress of your relationship, then I definitely would suggest a man and a woman is wise enough to know the difference. However, I can't look at my family, in my opinion, if I have a healthy family and say those folks and everybody. I don't look at it like that. My very existence comes from everybody, in the way I look at it. And again, I'm coming from a healthy perspective. The fact that we don't have that readily available is the problem. So we're talking about concepts way beyond the nature of our current situation. We don't even trust our families yet. We're trying to create a union and bridge family. Marriage is about family. So if you don't have the family and don't have the resources of family members, wisdom, and all these things collective, you already, in my opinion, are setting yourself up for failure. You're flying something that requires a team. Like a football team, you need more than two players, and that's what marriage truly is, in my opinion. And I'll land.
But truth, you already creating family when you creating your kids. That's your family. That's the most important. Yes, it is. Your kids is your family. Now you talking about your extended family. That's what you're talking about.
No, you're talking about the people you govern. See, you don't govern everyone in your family. There's a hierarchy over the family. It's usually the grandfather, and then it trickles down, the oldest uncle, things like that. And maybe one day if depending on we're the elder statesman in our family, that will be the one that ultimately governs the family. But see, because we have no corporate structure on how we do our relationships, everybody just wants to be, my business is my business. Well, guess what? when you run on hard times financially, let your business be your business. Don't come to us and ask if you can borrow a car, if somebody can watch your kids. You figure your family out. That's your family. That's your responsibility. Don't be asking us to do nothing for your kids. Oh, don't be doing no GoFundMe when your kids get sick. Remember, that's your family. That's your responsibility. So you know how a lot of times we tell our aunties and uncles, you can't talk to my kids like that. Well, guess what? Then when your kid needs something, you need somebody to watch your kid. You remember, I can't talk to your kid like that. Something's wrong with us.
Thanks.
We some losers. We have a losing mentality. None of us want nobody to tell us nothing. Nobody. So if one of our kids are 18 and they, God forbid, they have a kid that young, that kid 18, do you think our daughter or our son who had a kid at 18 should be telling us, oh, this is my kid, this is my family? It's like, what? You little bastard. You know you're gonna come to me when you need some help. Now you trying to tell me I have no say? That's not how this works.
You're going somewhere else with it, I think. I
agree with it. It has nothing to do with what you talking about. So as far as me going to my family, I've never done that. I've never went to say
we're talking about us as a people. We're not talking about you and how you do things.
No, but that's what I'm talking about. I keep it in family. Now, my extended family is my extended family, but my wife and our kids is our immediate family. That's the most important thing I have to worry about. Why? Because I have the most say so amongst them. I can't tell my grandmother or my grandfather what to do because they grown. Where's our business? I can't tell my brother and his girlfriend and his son what to do. That's his family.
But I bet you the small hat community can do that. I bet you the
I'm not part of that
Indian community. I know. And what True and I are trying to explain to y'all is because we're doing it our way is not working. But we don't see now. Granted, when they adopt our philosophies, because a lot of Indian women are adopting Western philosophies, and their relationships are falling apart just like our relationships fall apart. But when you go back to their homeland in Indian countries, when a man and a woman get married, they stay with the father. They stay in the same house, even if it's an apartment. It could be a 2-bedroom apartment, and they're going to share that bedroom, 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. Guess what? They're still moving in, and they're going to figure it out.
But I don't want to water down what.
The reason why our way is not working because we don't believe in coming together and creating families. We believe in shacking up. We think that's the way to go. We live in an individualistic mindset. That's the way to go. That's the reason why ours not working. You won't see them small hat communities, like you said, shacking up with some woman and talking about, well, but y'all doing it the right way. And especially when they stand on a certain religion.
Why you don't see it?
Because that's not how we move and operate.
No. Why you don't see it in the small hat community?
Because they have a religious base.
No, that's not a religious. No, sir, it's not a religious.
No, sir. Yes, it is.
No, what it is the rest of the community will ostracize them
based on their religion.
Listen, it don't matter based on the religion. No, because look, Hink, we have a religious base.
I agree. We have to agree to disagree.
No, Hink.
All right, let's make sure we shut the mic. I'll get some of the other folks in there too, y'all.
All right, let me make one point, JR. We have a religious base just like them, Hink. But because we have no policing of the religious base, that's where the problem comes in. It's not the religion.
Yeah, we don't.
All right, let me get some of the other folks in there who haven't spoken. Anybody else that haven't spoken? Anybody else? Trev, Mott, M. White, Willie, Nelson.
I wanted to comment on a couple of things. So I agree with Hank in terms of not necessarily bringing things to your family, and it's mainly because at the end of the day they are humans. So most people cannot handle hearing information and being impartial, and hearing information and not necessarily taking that on and feeling a certain type of way about people. I do think that if we could structure it more like a business and create some sort of board that is a third party and impartial, that would be the best thing, for us to get counsel from, people. I think that would be the best way. But another thing I wanted to kind of address is this thing with like the no divorce thing. Like, I don't think that it makes any type of sense.
I think it's right
to say that or have a conversation that we're going to go into marriage and we're not going to get a divorce, but at the same time have a stipulation that you can't cheat. That defeats the purpose of saying that. Like there are stipulations. If I'm saying that you can't cheat, that mean that no, we'll never get a divorce unless you cheat. So say that, because then we can agree. You know, I'm not saying to leave for stupid reasons. I'm saying to leave for the reasons that you really care about. Like, don't cheat. Don't let no man stick his thing inside of you, or whatever your standard may be. I really want to understand who on this panel would not leave their wife if they did cheat. And if you wouldn't leave, how many times can she cheat?
I think my, and man, I appreciate what you're saying, but this is where I want to walk this back just for a second. There is a difference between relatives and family. And I think we need to draw a huge difference in the words. Just because y'all have the same last name, just because y'all been at the cookout, do not make them family. From Hink's perspective, if you talking about relatives, 1000% agree. You got to know the difference. I would assume every man in this panel wise enough to know the difference. But when we talking about family, functional, people who belong in your life, people who impart, people who invest, people you bleed with, that's different. And to try to operate like, well, we gonna go ahead and create structure through marital commitment, which is the bridge of family, and say we're gonna do this independently is foolish. And the fact that we even sit here and we only talk about infidelity as the violation. Anybody that's been married or been around relationships long enough knows that there's deeper violations than some girl letting another dude's dick inside of her. We know that to be true. And for whatever freaking reason, I don't know why it's so hard to see it, but I kind of understand, because it's fractured, it's broken, it's in disarray.
Yeah. All right, so I want to push back on what you just said.
I don't know about that. If there's a more harsh violation than you seeing your woman getting knocked down. Yeah. That's some nasty work.
I don't think it's working.
And true, like I mean, but even you saying that just kind of like I think it strengthens my point.
Well, I mean, why don't y'all just ask one really quickly? Like, what's some deeper violations other that's worse than seeing your woman violated? True.
I'm very interested in truth. I'm very interested in truth.
What is
that?
I think a woman who's a thief. I believe a woman who shares, you know, secrets and things that are internal and personal to you. I am not removing that someone having sex, your wife, your woman having sex with another man is not disrespectful. So please don't insult my intelligence. I'm
sharing the pussy is worse than sharing a secret. I'm keeping it
not necessarily.
Well, more than likely she did all of that while getting that dick.
Oh.
God
like,
damn.
We're talking about characters right now.
Hold on, y'all. I'm not sure if he finished it. I know my one is pretty fine.
I'm not removing the fact that a woman who chooses, okay, if she has gotten to the point to where she has shared herself, she's way past gone. We already understand that, right? In my opinion, she's well past gone. So I get the response like, yeah, you cheat on me, we done. This is again my assumption. If the woman was able to get to that point to actually act on that disrespect, it wasn't that act. There was things occurring prior to, in my opinion. And to me, that is the manifestation of the layers of disrespect. The fact that, I don't know, it could have been what she was wearing and you guys couldn't agree on her dress code, or her wanting to take, you know, girls trips, or whatever the hell, the way you run your household. But the fact that all we can again think about is, well, shoot, she give up that pussy, that's a wrap.
Well, hold
on, y'all. Mike got to respond. Go ahead,
Mike. Go ahead.
So I agree with you, but all of that is pretty much irrelevant, because all of those things before her giving up the box are things that you can come back from, because that's what marriage is about. It's about working things out, right? It's about, all right, you told one of my secrets. Do you leave her for telling the secret, or what if you can come back from that? What if you can work it out, right? But to me, the infidelity that's a different story for me, right? Now, another thing that I disagree with you on is, like, I completely understood what you were saying earlier. I was talking about the family, mom, dad, like, these are the type of people, for the most part, I think that you shouldn't be telling those people, you know, those type of things. I think that you should find other people that you can talk to about that. because they're humans at the end of the day. My point that I think I kind of lost my point that I really wanted to make to you about like the cheating and all that. Because that's a really serious infraction. And I understand that, like you're saying that there are worse things than that. But if there are worse things than that, then that's just more things to leave a marriage for, which kind of bolsters my point of, yeah, don't say that you're not going to leave a marriage, because you'll leave for cheating, you'll leave for telling secrets, you'll leave for this, you'll leave for that, you'll leave for a lot of things. I know one thing for me in general, insubordination. If you insubordinate, you get in a write-up. And if you get a certain amount of write-ups, it is what it is. So